My name's Brent Holben. I'm one of the little guys here. I've been around. Well, I'm a graybeard, like many of us that have been speaking here, and I've known Yoram for approximately a quarter of a century. And so there are many, many stories, and I'm impressed with all the eloquent stories that we've heard so far. I was given a quote from the nomination for the Sumi Award written by Danny Rosenfeld, and I'd like to read an excerpt of that before I continue my comments. And it goes, in addition to being a great scientist, and first of all, Yoram is a source of inspiration and leadership in many ways. I've seen how Yoram recognizes young talented scientists and provides them with the inspiration and encouragement to very fruitful scientific directions. This way, Yoram has been able to amplify his scientific contributions through a new generation of scientists. Then he adds, "This is the best possible way that one can hope to continue after he is physically no longer with us." Yoram has received many, many awards throughout his career, and I'm sure we'll hear about more of those during these presentations and afterwards. One award that I never have seen him get was one for spelling, at least for English anyway. That's the only thing. And Yoram would like to try to analyze this, I think. And so if we looked at what spelling is, I before E, except after C, and all these rules. Yoram wasn't about rules at all. He was about trying to break rules. And I have a little story here about Yoram perhaps breaking rules a little bit. In 1989, as a result of the smoke studies that Yoram got involved in, Yoram, his great friend Didier Tanre from Lille, France, Gerald Ward from the U.S. Forest Service in Missoula, and I flew to Brazil and met with Alberto Setzer, who was a guy that had access to the research aircraft at the Brazilian Space Agency, INPE. And so we got in this plane, and Yoram had his cow, his sun photometer with him, that he took everywhere on vacations and business trips, of course. And so we would set up and take measurements, and then we would have these long flights to the next site. Sometimes they were 2 and 3 hours long. This was a twin-engine aircraft that we were in, seated about 8 to 10 people. And you know, the sound of the engines would sort of put everybody to sleep. So as we were all sort of nodding off, suddenly there was this tremendous whooshing sound and the roar of the engines. We all kind of woke up and thinking that this is the end, you know, we're going down. And so we looked at the pilots. The pilots looked back, and there was Yoram in the back of the plane. He'd opened a window, stuck his arm out, hanging onto the fuselage, and there were ripples of flesh and skin going up his arms. And he was just admiring that. There's one of the pictures that was shown up here was that. And so you know, we sort of looked at this in amused horror, and after about 30 seconds or so, Yoram looked up and saw us. He closed the window, and his typical shrug and his arms like that, he said, "You know, I was just bored. I had to do something." So that was Yoram. That was Yoram. He was a wonderful guy, always breaking the rules, doing something new, and he was an inspiration for all of us. And I would like to conclude by making a toast or a statement to really all of us. And I would say, may his boundless imagination inspire us for all the rest of our days. Thank you.